Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for nobody's favorite segment, and it is called the Sicko segment. So Andrew Baydala is like the real war, and then he writes like a 7-paragraph novel. Just kidding, I can't count. He says the majority of the IWC and reporters were so focused on the spectacle of which talent was moving where, who was jumping to WWE or AEW. Baydala, shut the up. That's because that's what it was before. Don't talk in hindsight and go, but really the war was this thing that it is now after it evolved, you dumb. Ugh. They believe that this is the essence of the wrestling war. However, the real battle has been much quieter and has played out behind the scenes. Obviously, cringe thing to say. It's obviously there's been going on behind the door. I'm not even reading this. I'm in a mood now. Adam Pierce says, as one that has been the cause of a pregnant woman, I indeed know when it is time to peace out. And then, yeah, people respond to it. They're like, what the f-? And then Adam Pierce is like, because of the hormones, you virgins. So, yeah, just calling out wackos in the replies. So this dumb AEW Cero Miedo goes, Tony Khan, have Danhausen come out each week and get absolutely squashed until his deal expires. And then this guy goes, please, Tony Khan. And then AEW Cero Miedo, make it happen, boss. At Tony Khan with a wink. A, Tony Khan probably does listen to a sicko like this. B, you call him boss and then call other people like pedophiles and when you're tonguing a dude's ass cheeks who don't even pay you, unless he does pay you.
Shut up, bitch!
Because I truly believe they likely have people that are paid to have some of these sicko accounts, like Disney does it for She-Hulk and stuff, so... Yeah, but they just, bury Danhausen. Meanwhile, if I go search up Danhausen on that Redux Twitter, I bet we see him just glazing Danhausen for his time in AEW. So private gig, Shazza McKenzie posted this email she received, and she goes, sir, this is a Wendy's. But this guy emails her and says, private gig, hello, my friend is a huge wrestling fan, and he's turning 19 in month. And thought it might be fun to hire a wrestler to maybe surprise him in lingerie. We are based in Naperville. Would be 5 guys. What, like the cheeseburger? Oh! Cheeseburger. So you want don't at 5 guys, isn't it like nut oil or whatever? So you want some of this nut oil. Don't they like fry their fries in nut oil? Or am I just completely off base with that joke? I don't know. Anyways, fun to hire a wrestler to maybe surprise him in lingerie. We're based in Naperville, would be 5 guys. Oh, so catering? Let me know if you're interested at all. I can pay for your travel and pay $5,000 for you in lingerie and a bonus $5,000 if you can go fully nude. More wrestling gals are gonna get this more and more and more, and just women in general. As long as there's sugar baby websites and even just social media, there's guys who are like who hit up chicks on Instagram and go, oh, like I'll give you $2,000 for feet pics, and there's people who do stuff like that. So yeah, I guess people are getting hit up. Some sickos, like instead of a stripper who I could just hit up and this is their literal job, we're fantasizing about some indie wrestlers, right? Here we go. So this is the Tyrese Halliburton thing. Oh yeah, I just didn't pull that out of here. We covered that with Elbu. So ex-WWE star Shelly Martinez calls out creepy fan for repeatedly sending topless pics. Okay, so Shelly Martinez, who I think is married to Frankie Kazarian, or am I wrong about that? I can't remember. She says, why do you keep sending me topless photos? Why? Why topless? Like, what's the thought behind it? Because at this point, I'm so effing curious why you do this. And the Twitter fan's bio didn't help the case either. It includes a bizarre and overly personal declaration that reads, I heart beautiful women and beautiful she-males. Yeah, the problem is that, like, these people who would walk around and, like, can't wipe their ass properly and probably work at like a can crushing plant and just spend their days jerking off alone in their apartments. And now that they are on the internet now, so we get to all know about their fantasies and see them retweeting corn stars and fucking sending you pics of themselves topless. And obviously he's not jacked up and ripped, or she wouldn't mind it, I'm sure. But yeah, it's we live in a crazy society in 2025 with social media. So AEW is fully restored. So Wrestling Mark's like, I feel AEW have fully restored their reputation that was kind of torn to shreds in 2023. So you guys admit it's torn to shreds, and you admit I was right this whole fucking time. So Niccolo Piccolo says, I'm still laughing at this. Who, by the way, congrats Niccolo Piccolo for being named. He was named in some Newsweek or some shit. I forget what it was. He was named like one of the top sports executives. He was, I think, like in the top 10, I want to say, or 15. And so he says, I'm still laughing at this. Not even the first shift. Imagine putting this on your resume. Digital local news assignment desk, second shift. So yeah, Bethel. He has Fox 19 WXIX full-time. LinkedIn helped me get this job. Ran websites, social media accounts, and assignment desk on second shift. Just say and assignment desk. And assignment desk on second shift. Jesus Christ. VJ Bethel's such a fucking... I feel bad for him because he gets a ton of heat for doing shitty journalism. At the same time, I don't. When you see what he tweets out about some of these wrestlers and shit, it's like, bro, stay in your fucking lane. So again, I tweeted this out. I'm like, fucking AEW fans. So here's a guy. This guy's name is the Sex Haver. And I just tweet this shit out about Drew and Rhodes are going to feud through fall at least. Hopefully the first of a few matches here. Because according to PWI, the main event for WrestlePalooza, we're going to get Brock Cena and we're going to get Rhodes and Drew, right? And so and then of course I just blocked this Sex Haver who just responded to me saying, what did they say? I'm gonna gently drag my balls across your face, which is like, cool, but get to know me first, bro. Goddamn. And then I just clicked on his account. The first thing I saw, the literal first thing you see, is this person make white babies with like an AI Yahtzee queen. Is that even allowed on Grok? Can you just put swastikas on shit? It's fucking crazy. And then he's saying like, I will grape you to people. And then, I don't know, just a wrestling sicko. And then I will come in you. So the dude just like spends his day responding to people who talk about wrestling, just saying like borderline grapey shit. And so I don't know. I put it in the sicko segment, but he's like very pro AEW, you can see. But the first thing was like a Yahtzee queen. And it's just like, what the fuck, man? So I wrote fucking AEW fans, SMH. Anyways, though, so this Jax guy responds to Saraya. She gets in a sicko battle arguing with this fucking guy. And it's like, aren't you a millionaire? Like, ignore him. And so here we go, man. There's a lot of like, she's going back and forth with sickos, right? And so this Boogie Night person wrote, previous post deleted without all information. It's hard to not jump to conclusions on some things. So firstly, I do want to apologize to @Saraya for my previous post. It was posted out of anger and frustration. And I sincerely hope your doggo gets better, but I will add this. And it still may come off as being a dick, but from the eyes of an attendee of said show, this was a bad look, even though it wasn't meant to look like that. I understand having to get out when shit is rough, and much like anything else in the world of social media, if there was no one there to take a candid shot of you, no one would have been the wiser. So again, I do apologize to Saraya and her family for being a righteous bag of dicks. So what exactly happened? Her dog was sick, or I don't know what happened, but she got attacked for her decision she made with a dog or something. Okay, maybe chat can shed some light on that. I'm actually not sure the ins and outs of it, but she says like, thank you so much for apologizing. Takes a lot to do that. I understand the frustration because it's money spent to see someone and there's no proof. Oh, right. Sorry. She canceled some like cons appearances or whatever the fuck I think it was, right? Because her dog's sick. And a bunch of people jumped on her for canceling and like big dogging, I think is what it was, right? And so she says, but I promise to you and anyone, I do not cancel unless something very serious is going on. Thank you so much. Hopefully I can have a redo in Newark soon. My apologies. And she's like, thanks for apologizing. It takes a lot to do that. And then this guy goes, you celebrities hawk your shit expecting fans to pay exorbitant prices to make sure you can maintain your lifestyle. My lifestyle, a living in life, living in life beginning. And then he says, then turn around and shame fans for feeling a certain way or asking for autographs. Sad what happened to your dog, but fans can feel upset for cancellation. And then she says, you can absolutely be frustrated, but to make TikTok videos, harass me, call me awful names because I decided to stay home with my extremely sick dog who was rushed to the emergency room is uncalled for. I'm really great with my fans and to try and make a meet and greet experience as a fun time for them. When I see fans out of M&Gs in the streets, I sign anything they want, take pictures, talk with them. And that's why my meet and greets do so well, because I fucking love my fans. They know that, but that doesn't give anyone the right to berate me and be cruel. It's not shaming. I was proving why this all happened. I was once again shamed, or I was the one getting shamed. This is a shitty take. And then she says, what's shitty? Or this guy says, what's shitty about it? Never said anything disrespectful, and it's sad. And said it's sad what happened to your dog, but you talking down to original poster wasn't necessary. Fans that support you will be back and they can feel, okay, whatever, bro. He's just getting attention, though, so he's going to keep it going. And then she goes, dude, shut the absolute fuck up. Yeah, that's where I was, too, at the end of that. I was like, okay, bro, like, it's breezing past what she's saying, though, right? And it is, like, if someone's talking shit to you, you're allowed to be a dick back. If they're allowed to be a dick to you, you're allowed to be a dick back. It doesn't matter if she's like, well, my dog was sick or not. It doesn't matter if she justifies it or not. It doesn't matter if she's in the right or not. This guy says there's a stack of these dorks posting the exact same thing. So again, these fucking bot accounts, like, they all have me pre-blocked and they're all fucking posting this beep boop beep shit. Obsessional wrestling. WWE could offer me money to watch their slop, and I'd still spend $50 to watch All Out instead. Anti-WWE at Protect Tony Khan. WWE could offer me money to watch their slop, and I'd still spend $50 to watch All Out. So what this is it's completely shameless. So this is one person, like this is the same person who are utterly shameless, who has 5 accounts just hating on WWE, and then they'll just copy and paste tweet the same shit, or they're all like in a group together getting DMs of, hey, we're gonna like hump each other and retweet each other and we're gonna all tweet out the same shit. That's all this is, right? And we see it all the time. So we have news here. Aaron Loves Wrestling ALW podcast, who is just an utter disingenuous cringe lord. He's like, I love how AEW lives rent-free in Cody's head. You're the WWE champion, bro. You're supposed to be the face of WWE. Cody's not. Roman Reigns is. How about you focus on being a good champion and stop talking about AEW? And this is a guy who just tongues balls, and then at the end he just goes, oh, well, like he'll just tongue AEW's balls, then be like, oh, but I just want all wrestling to do good. And then he just says this shit. But then he doesn't keep the same energy when AEW motherfuckers are literally obsessing over WWE for a long time as well. But I get it. They're all backed into a corner right now. It's like these motherfuckers who are like, I'm not a journalist. It's like, okay, but you interview and break news and do all this shit. You're that thing, you know? So when this motherfucker goes, I just love all wrestling, but then you tongue one, you feed into the tribalism. That's what you're doing with shit like this. It's not like keeping it real, because this is a totally retarded take. Like, everybody understands this is, you keep talking about AEW. Yeah, he helped invent it, right? And there's a bunch of assholes like you trying to undermine him. And he knows this book's coming out, and he knows what I said was fucking true on my Twitter. Cody Rhodes does. When I tweeted out, this story's such bullshit that they're coming out with, this AEW book. It's a story. It's what it is, a fictional fucking tale, because it's going to leave out Rhodes. It's going to leave out Punk. They're not going to get quotes from them from anything post them leaving the fucking company. It's just straight up going to be rewriting history. They'll talk about the good shit Rhodes did. They'll talk about how he tanked their shit. And then when he left the company, it was good terms. Like, I'm not even saying they're going to bury him. I'm not saying he's not going to be in it at all, but he knows. I guarantee Rhodes has heard about what is rumored to be in this book. It's not going to be, it's just going to be one of these fake, like, Ultimate Warrior documentaries. Not a hit piece. I don't mean it. That's not the right call. Just one of these WWE rewrite our own history shits. That's what AEW is going to do. And no one's going to keep the same energy. They're not going to cry about it. Dave's not going to point out historical inaccuracies, Brian. He's going to be like, this book is really good. You know, he's not even going to read it. He's going to be like, it's really good, Brian. Yeah, if this guy loves AEW so much and loves all wrestling, then why does he just not shut the fuck up? And this is coming off of the same day where Adam Page showed up on a train in London, or in wherever the fuck they were, Scotland or whatever, like clearly taking a shot at Punk for the whole train and the travel issue. So who's really in whose heads, man? So Dustin Rhodes had this to say, and he goes, Twitter, as I call it, is really getting bad. People out here threatening people's lives and such. Yeah, way worse from the AEW side. Way worse. Objectively way worse. Just ridiculous. People who have serious mental health issues more and more every day. And we have to better ourselves as humans. Yeah, you mean like the people in the cults, like you mean the robots who we just showed copy and pasting the same tweets. You mean the guy with AEW in his name who fucking spent a day talking shit to a bunch of people, then blocking them, and then they blocked him. So then he screen grabbed it all. Think about how fucking mentally sick you even have to be to think to do that in your day. And then he goes, all these people blocked me. That's like the most diehard AEW fan there is, bro. Heel Uzi just goes, daily reminder, AEW sucks dick, haha. Like, that is very tame compared to what a lot of these motherfuckers have to deal with. But he goes, we have to better ourselves as humans. Mental health truly matters, kids, men, and women alike. Yeah, I agree. Indie wrestler David Joseph Mabry arrested again for sending photos to underage girls. You sick son of a bitch. You sick bastard. So the veteran Jack Vaughn posted this. He said, if this is a real comment, the fact that there are people out there that think this is wild. I quote tweeted this and I was like, what a fucking mark. And so again, Meltzer, dude, remember when he said Mark and the N-word, both derogatory? My new name's Phil N-words, guys. Both demeaning terms inside wrestling. Mark and N-word both used similarly in that era. I don't think in that era people were calling Teddy Long Mark, and I don't think if they did, it would have hurt his feelings as bad as I'm sure the other word that they were using. Meanwhile, Dave's the one who, those people, Brian, Cuervo, just adding frivolous hard R's to shit. This guy here, this commenter somewhere, says, if you can't call a gay person by a derogatory term, and he wrote by B-U-Y. So dumb, he's making his job harder. If you can't call a gay person by a derogatory term, well, you can, dude. You can. It's not like you can't, just you might get punched in the fucking mouth or any other demographic of people. And it's just the truth. Like, you can. It's just someone might take it up or someone might talk fucking shit to you back. Like, what are you saying? Or any other demographic of people by a derogatory term. What makes you think that you can call a bunch of wrestling fans a mark? So, like, this is the problem, right? Homophobic slurs or racial slurs or epithets aren't on the same level as, hey, dude, you're a mark. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, you're a D1 Glazer. That's nothing on the same level. So to me, it's kind of cringe to even compare that. I find the term to be offensive and derogatory, and the only acceptable use is when somebody is calling me by name. And yeah, Dave Meltzer is along those same lines. Mentally insufficient? Is that what I should have said? That's worse. That's fucking worse, in my opinion. I don't know. Anyways. Deficient? I don't know if that's right, dude. They can read books and shit. They count the fucking cans and do the math and give you the money. I mean, it's not that bad. No. So anyways, guys, this is a very special Sickos. I don't even actually, maybe this should have been miscellaneous news, but I just put it in the fucking Sicko segment. So let's give another for this section here. This is wild. So Jordynne Grace, man, she beats up all these dudes, right? You know, she's done this a couple times. And fadeaway media is like, Jordynne Grace cooked these grown men. The last dude ran for his life, right? It was on NXT. So PWP Nation goes, Jordynne Grace is one of the most overrated professional wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. Not only that, she's awful in real life. Some of her conduct online over the years has been awful, and some of the stories I've heard, even worse. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've never heard any fucking stories, but I don't know every good goddamn thing, right? Like, people aren't just hitting me up telling me slandering fucking wrestlers or anything like that. And I think I got my fingers on the pulse of what's going on a little bit, right? And I mean, I've never heard shit about Jordynne Grace other than just online. People are like, she tweets out dumb shit, you know, people don't like her, blah, 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 right? You just hear the same chatter. We've covered some of it on the show. I'm a fan. I like Jonathan Gresham. I've advocated for both of them for a long time. And so this is crazy to read all this. I was like, holy shit. So this dude's like, you know, she's terrible. I've heard worse stories. She's awful in real life and she's overrated, etc., etc. Okay. So then Michael Elgin, who recently we talked about on PWT, because he exposed, allegedly, he alleged a bunch of stuff, or he's got receipts according to some, but he did prove, I guess, that they investigated Scott D'Amore and Don Callis for, Don Callis was allegedly, I'm not saying this is South Park, right? This is dumb fuck hour where we're just having fun and playing flutes. But this is what other people say, that, Don Callis possibly SH'd or along these lines Scarlet Bordeaux, or she interpreted it that way, or whatever the fuck, right? I've heard rumors. The rumors are, like, people have brought up Scott D'Amore. Jim Cornette and Brian Last have alluded to shit. Apparently Scott D'Amore, I've heard egregious shit of, like, he's sleeping with talent and they asked him to stop, and that's not, he wasn't a creep, but he's sleeping with talent and they asked him to stop. It's unprofessional, and that's why he doesn't work for TNA there or anymore, or whatever. But I've heard from, I'd say, people who fucking worked in TNA that he just put a money offer down and was like, I'll run this shit if you guys want me to, type shit. And that's more what it was. So I'm more inclined to believe that part, because I don't know about who he dated. I thought he was dating Giselle Shaw for like a long period of time. So again, this is all hot goss. This is the tea. Right? This is girl time here, what we're talking about. But Michael Elgin has been exposing Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, essentially. We covered that all. That's a summation of again, I'm just throwing accusations at D'Amore and shit. I apologize. I'm a big fan. I'm a Canuck dude, so I don't know about any of this. It's just what's being thrown around, right? So I'm just trying to break it down, give everyone the full context so they can discern what to think for themselves. Michael Elgin, of course, has been caught up in a bunch of controversies over the year. He feels, and some people online feel, as though he's vindicated himself by dropping receipts recently for the Don Callis, Scott D'Amore, TNA firing stuff I brought up. But hey, man, you've gotten in trouble a handful of times, seemingly. So is this an isolated incident? Is this the one time you're like, I swear I can prove this one? I don't know. I don't know the guy, right? Michael Elgin, man, he responded to this and he just exposed Jordynne Grace. Or I don't know if this is like an exposing, because like I don't know Jordynne Grace and her personal ins and outs of her fucking life, so I don't know. But she responded to this as well and was like, this is one of the most egregious things anyone's ever made up about me. And I think her post must have been deleted or something. I'll look it up on the other screen, unless I just didn't bookmark it correctly, because what the fuck? I have to check it out, because her tweet was deleted, I think, maybe, but she had quote tweeted this and said, this is one of the most disgusting things, or like, this is one of the most insane things anyone's ever made up about me in my fucking life. And she may have just deleted it again, because why would she lend credence to it if it is bullshit? Like, why would she let more people know? Like, a bunch of people probably didn't even know about it, that now that she's on WWE TV, and I'm sure WWE may have hit her up like, hey, we're partners with TNA, like, don't even acknowledge this shit, there's no point in even acknowledging any of it. Yeah, I'm scrolling her feed as I bibble and babble, and I do not see it. She must have absolutely been talked to, or just had a second thought, because all it does is bring attention to TNA and yourself in a negative light, in a way that people wouldn't even know about this shit if she didn't bring it up. I guess I'm an asshole bringing it up right now. I guess it's weird I'm talking about all this shit right now, but it's what we do, I guess. Yeah, so she deleted it. I'm doom scrolling and I don't see a fucking thing. So she responded and it's one of these graveyard fucking posts that I can't read anymore, right? So she was like, this is one of the fucking kookiest things anybody's ever made up about me. So she went public and claimed, you can take my word for it, I'm sure someone screen grabbed it or something. But anyways, Michael Elgin responds to that tweet that we read before about this guy, like, oh, she's terrible, fuck Jordynne Grace. He goes, not just online. And then PWP Nation says, I've heard some gross and terrible stories about how she treats people. Hey, we're hearing tales, possibly telling tales out of turn. And so he says, he just fucking lays it on the line. Michael Elgin goes, and look, man, 1 like, 917 views. Like, no one's talking about this. I'm sorry if I'm blowing this up more. I'm sorry, Jordynne. I am a fucking fan, goddammit. But he goes, well, she pulled many things while in STL. Now, chat, I'm assuming that means St. Louis. What does STL mean in America? St. Louis? Or is that like a Fed I don't know about? To me, when I see STL, I'm assuming St. Louis. So he says, I hope she's grown out of immature behavior, but it was also sad at the time. Or it was also said at the time, rather. She moved out of Texas due to many of the same issues she had caused in STL, which sucks. She clearly works hard at her craft. Somehow the worst of people gets a pass. Well, wait though, Michael, hold on. You fucking are throwing stones and you're the same guy going, oh, vindication, and fucking people made shit up about me. Unfortunately, somehow the worst of people get a pass. Michael, again, guy, not like, I don't know the ins and outs. I didn't study your case. I looked it up a little bit last time because I wanted some insight on the fucking TNA's thing. But like, haven't you gotten in shit too, bro? Like, what the fuck, man? Just throwing stones and I don't know, whatever. What did she do? This guy asks, some random mark. That's like the N-word. And so PWP Nation says the stuff I heard was mostly from her younger days as well, although her online conduct towards fans has been repulsive to say the least. What has she done that's super repulsive to fans? Am I missing something? What did she do? Did she shit on Chris Benoit or something? I'm legitimately not familiar. I remember she pissed people off with like a Chris Benoit tweet or something about dogs or something. I don't know. Or was that Saraya? And then Michael Elgin lays it all on the line. He goes, yeah, it's hard to say for sure. I didn't hear about the Texas issues until what she pulled with me. From what was said, she basically had to leave Texas to find work. For me, though, she told a section of people in Chicago that she slept with me and Kingston together. In brackets, gay. Oh, really, Ja? Touch tips? No, I'm just joking. She told a section of people in Chicago that she slept with me and Kingston together. And this is the one that Jordynne quote tweeted. And then she told people in St. Louis I had heat with her because she wouldn't sleep with me. Okay. I had to call around to try and confront her because I didn't hear about it until my then wife heard about it. Finally, she was at a promoter's house and the promoter called me, said she only said it was as a joke. My marriage was never really the same after that. This dude's like, that's wild because one of the things I've heard is that she is into multiple men at the same time. Bro has put wrestlers in precarious situations in the past due to this lifestyle. My lifestyle, living it up, giving it up, beginning. I don't know though. All rumors and innuendo. It's crazy to like talk about who people are fucking publicly when you don't even know them really. It's such like a hot, gossy girl team tea time, girls locker room, fucking National Enquirer type thing, in my opinion. I don't know. And I also heard, and then he responds to himself. And I also heard she had an issue with soap and showering before matches or something. But again, just something I heard from a good friend. Not sure if true. So we get an update. Holy fuck, man. We're going to be here all night, bruv. Holy shit, dude. Strap in. God damn it. I needed more coffee. Fuck beings. I'm supposed to be packing. Just a quick one. This guy goes, what the fuck? Who jokes around with that type of thing? That's crazy and lame of her. And then Elgin says, yeah, like it said, it strained my marriage badly at the time. Was real lame and shitty. And so Jordynne she tweeted a thing out, then she deleted her tweet. And then, which is news to the show, I legit did not know. If you guys are on X, come and subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips, and become a member for 99 cents. You get access to my Monday bonus shows that we jumped into tons of juice last time as well. So Michael Elgin, dude, he wrote this novel, and I didn't know this. This is breaking news to me as well. I read through the rest of the shit before, but so she deletes her tweet, right? And then I guess she jumps in his inbox chat, okay? I'm telling you guys like I knew before, right? Right? So follow me here. You guys ready for these twists and turns? So Elgin says, so since she jumped in my inbox saying I was generic and all the other insults people say, is Mike Elgin generic of a wrestler? I remember him with Brian Cage, and they did come across as like two generic muscly guys to me. But that's really the extent that I remember of him. I did watch TNA when he was there for a bit, but I wasn't like overly interested. I think he was world champion. But anyways, he says, so first, go watch her first year or so in Impact. People used to ask me if I trained her because she wrestled exactly like me. And I'll be honest, if Jordynne Grace was a dude and just a body guy, yeah, she would be shit on. She wouldn't get a fucking shot. They would bury the shit out of her. Just a body guy. Ridge Holland. How does he even have a job? Dexter, that guy's name? Dexter Boogs? Rick Boogs. Oh, Dexter Loomis and then Rick Boogs. Yeah, sorry, I was putting two Dexter Lugs, right? I'm combining two names. So how does Rick Boogs have a job, etc., right? And so if Jordynne was a dude, I'll give you this one. And I'm not siding with Mike Elgin here on any of the rest of this rant, but I'm not even saying he's saying this, but I'll give them this. I'll give whoever the imaginary person I'm talking to in my mind. She would be not as far along as she is if she was a dude, 100%. But because she's a woman and she's like big, thick mama pump, that does make her stand out. And that's awesome. I'm not saying I just think her gimmick and her size and her look have gotten her further along because it's so unique for women, if she was a dude, just being a Buff Bagwell type motherfucker ain't gonna get you. Well, maybe back in the day it did, but these days I don't know. Anyways, not trying to shit on her. But anyways, here's the full story. She said she never said one part, but Miss Natural told my ex-wife, and Danny Daniels of AAW asked me about it. In 2014, I opened my wrestling school. A reporter from Chicago came down to St. Louis to write a story about the school he wanted to train for a week. I had messaged the St. Louis Anarchy guys to see if anyone could come help because I wanted to be able to see how he was doing, because when you're taking a hip toss or mocking up, you can tell how it feels but not looks. So they sent Grace. I barely knew her. So Jordynne Grace. I would hold open ring when I could for free just to help out the scene, and she would come with Davey Vega and company after she helped for the day. And by the way, she was very helpful. She was very helpful in the back. Oh no. I paid her $40 and said, I know that's not a lot, but if you see a show, I'm on that. I am likely driving to. If a spot is open in the car, you're welcome if you ask. She ended up taking one trip, and well, I'll explain why. I drove up to the AAW and Dreamwave double shot. Paco, my student, and Grace, we did AEW. Then I shared a room with Kingston. Grace and Paco were with me. Kingston said it was all good for them to be in the room. The next day we went to Dreamwave, and as I was leaving, Jay asked me if I knew much about Grace. I said no and explained how she helped out and so on. He told me that there was some inappropriate stuff in an email she sent to him for a booking inquiry. Something he said other promoters had also mentioned to him. I can't confirm others, only what was said to me. On the drive home, I just said to her, hey, this is what Jay said. He didn't tell me what, and just said that if there was something that could be interpreted wrong in her emails, think about making some changes. Up to this point, nothing was ever disrespectful or gave me a bad vibe. So he had a talking to her about her, nothing but nice, respectful, and helpful. About 3 weeks later, my ex-wife confronted me asking if I had, she showed me the text from Miss Natural. I immediately contacted everyone I knew in the St. Louis area, and I wanted to find out why someone would say that. When I spoke with Jake Parnell and the Hooligans, they told me they never heard that, but that she told them I had heat with her because she wouldn't sleep with me. Maybe a few days later, after I told promoters I don't care if you book her, but she will not be riding with me. A promoter called me as she was staying at his house. She was yelling from the background. I was just joking around with Parnell and Hooligans. I said that's not a joke to say when my wife is friends with the owner of the school and those guys stop in. Later, more people at AEW would say they heard me and Kingston slept with her. She claims she never said the thing about me and Kingston. Maybe she's being honest. The only thing I say not is ask around, and she used to say this in Texas all the time while she was underage. Finally, people got mad enough that she couldn't get booked and moved to St. Louis. Now, I admit she was young then and people make mistakes, but the fact is I put up with bullshit for 5 years after that because my ex-wife believed I had cheated. For anyone looking, I'm not saying anything for attention. I'm not playing along with your games anymore. I also don't speak unless I have proof. Number 2, I believe she has become a god a damn good performer and genuinely happy she succeeded. Got in great shape and gets over with the audiences. I assume she's grown up. Until then, inbox insults because she didn't like the truth out there. I'm not the only one with a similar story to this. Again, I doubt she would be where she's at had she not matured. Nonetheless, that's the story. And if you find someone who's not afraid to take a stand, everybody take my hand, to speak up out of fear, it could block them from a chance with NXT because she's there. You'll hear similar stories. I don't know, like, if he's I'll tell you guys this. I don't think he's psychotic enough to like make all of that up. Now, some people are just delusional narcissists who just make shit up. I don't know. I don't study him closely like I do Dave Meltzer, but it seems very just like a personal situation. And if he did, maybe like she had a crush on him and then maybe it turned into like she did start some drama or say some shit. Who fucking knows? I mean, people have done that. We've all met girls in our lives who would typically, it's more of like a high school thing. He's saying she was young at the time. So we all had girls in our friend circle or heard about, or your girlfriend has a girl in their friend circle who just does shit like this and makes shit up and says crazy shit and stuff. It's incredibly unfortunate. He's just airing her out. Maybe it's untrue. I would love to see these fucking insults. I would love to see them. I don't even know what to make of it until Jordynne responds, or if she's going to respond or doesn't or whatever, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, that I don't believe, I'll just put it this way. I don't believe either way. Like, you know what I mean? I don't believe that she was like fucking up people's lives till I guess I see her have more proof. You know what I mean? That was a sicko segment.